Good to see you, Nadya. Thank you for joining us. It's a shame it's not
Yeah,
in
thank
Manchester, but you're here, which is a great thing. Would you be kind enough just to give us a an, tell us who you are, an overview of who you are and what you do day to day in your job? That'd be great.
Yeah, absolutely. So my name is Nadya Khoja, and I head growth at Venngage. We're an online design software and infographic tool, pretty template based. And I joined there back in 2015. So when I started out, we're about 4 people. Now we're about 60 people, all working remotely due to the current nature of things, and still growing, despite the pandemic. So my main focus is looking at content and SEO as a strategy.
Would you be kind enough to tell us, collaboration is the theme of Creative North this year, what collaboration means to you?
So collaboration is actually something that I think has been a part of my education and my work life for a long time. I actually studied something called devised theater, which is by nature collaborative performance. And so collaboration is really, I think, having a diversity of different minds and different ways of thinking, and using that diversity to kind of drive more creative decisions with your content, with your marketing strategies, with your business strategies overall. So really, at a high level, collaboration is leveraging other people's different ways of thinking and finding ways to loop that together.
Well, that's really interesting. Obviously, the event's not happening, but imagine yourself in front of a room full of people at the Royal Exchange. What were the sort of things you would have been talking about in your presentation, do you think, with regards to collaboration?
Yeah, so like I said, for me, a lot of our focus at Venngage has always been about content and SEO, and I think we've used the element of collaboration pretty heavily in a lot of what we've done right from the get-go. And so I would have talked a lot about like our frameworks and a lot of our specific strategies and tactics for using content and SEO to scale our traffic, to scale our revenues and acquisition. And a lot of that, so I have a framework which I refer to as GRAP, and it's GRAP, stands for Goals, Research, Authority, and Promotion. And I think that really, especially the promotion part, really kind of ties all of the collaboration in, but the whole framework really looks at everything from setting that goal for your content, whether it's for acquisition, for traffic, for conversions, how to ideate which kind of content will work to hit each of those goals individually, but also how you can weave all of that content together to create a better authority for your site or for your brand. And eventually going into the promotion strategies, looking at different partners that you can collaborate with. How do you actually get more eyes on your content? How do you focus on distributing it to the right people? And a lot of that talk was actually focused on how do we work with other people in our industries rather than just going into this hard sell approach that I think marketers are really used to, and is part of the framework that we have always learned about. So really using like empathetic marketing and empathetic collaboration to work together and grow together.
I was going to say, yeah, what are the sort of skills a marketer or a copywriter might want to work on and might want to look at developing to make themselves more valuable, more useful in this collaborative kind of process?
Yeah, that's I've been asked this question a lot, and I think soft skills and hard skills are very different, but soft skills are, in my opinion, a lot more important, and like one of the things I focus on when hiring people on my team. And those soft skills are, an ability to be resourceful. Resourceful not only in the sense, can you like look something up on Google, but are you able to make connections to find opportunities to partner with other people or to bring new opportunities to you, to learn from other people. So that's one of the really important things. One of the things we do in our team is actually what we call growth interviews. And this is part of a kind of a required learning process where different people on my team will go out and reach out to somebody who's a little bit more experienced than them, and use that as an opportunity to, connect learn a bit more about their approaches to a specific problem that somebody on my team might be facing, and branch out their network, and again, open up opportunities for more collaboration and working together in the future. And so what was I talking about? I've lost my train of thought. We were talking about
the skills people
the
might want
soft
to
skills.
target. The soft skills, yeah.
Yeah, so some of the so that's soft skills being resourcefulness. I think resilience. A lot of promotion when it comes to like content marketing or creative content in general requires you to reach out to people and put yourself out there to make those connections. If you're not resilient, you're just gonna give up really quickly. I often think of you're always gonna get a no, but to get a yes, you just have to get past all those no's before you are able to succeed. And an ability for empathy, like being able to empathize not only with our customers, with our audience, with their jobs to be done, with their needs, but also with the people that we're collaborating with. If you know what kind of value you can offer not only to your audience but to the people you're collaborating with, that's a really important skill set to be able to tap into.
Yeah, that's wise words, Nadya. Wise words. I like that a lot. How have these skills and your framework? What have they impacted on you and your business? What you've seen?
So, so when I'm hiring people on my team, I actually don't really look at like resumes that often. I often forget to look at all the details on a resume. I'm not really that concerned about like experience on paper. I'm more interested in experience by what you can show me that you can do, because that's ultimately, the thing that's going to lead us to real growth. So the way that ties into this framework is somebody if I'm able to like set a goal for somebody, or somebody's able to see a goal and be able to break that goal down and critically think on their own and figure out what those opportunities are by being resourceful and seeing, being able to draw that grand picture. That's part of the goal tie-in. The research part is being able to figure out, how to actually back up that goal, back up the steps in order to hit that goal. The authority part is understanding how everything weaves together. Again, going back to that grand picture, which comes down to being able to speak to the right people, being able to make those connections by tying everything that you've learned together. And the promotion part, you need to be able to, again, make those connections and be able to know how to empathize with other people in order to find that value.
Okay, that's great, brilliant. I mean, it would have been such a shame you didn't get the full 40 minutes presented, because it would have just been amazing. Next year.
Next year we'll do it.
Takeaways. What kind of takeaways might you have left with the room?
I think the main takeaway would have been I would have spoken more specifically about content marketing and creating content, but I think when people think of content marketing and content writing, they don't necessarily think of themselves as a growth marketer. And growth marketers are like seen to be, very data driven, very analytical, whereas content marketers are seen as more of the creative type. But really, a good marketer is just somebody who can find a connection between both of those things, and be able to make creative decisions from data. And I think that's one of the most important things to remember. And one of the things I tell my team as well all the time is you're not writers right now, you're growth content marketers, meaning you're still going to do everything associated with that.
That's really interesting. I was having a very similar conversation with someone earlier, talking about right brain thinkers and left brain thinkers, and how we sort of grow up thinking we're one or the other, and we sort of decide which one we are and kind of stick with it because that's the way the world is. But then what you're saying is no, it's if you're,
and I think I think a lot of creative people are scared of numbers, like they're scared of math. It's funny, like our content manager now, when she started, like we've known each other for a long time, but she's an English lit major, and as soon as I started talking about data, she was like, I don't like math and I don't like numbers. I'm like, no man, like you'll learn it and you'll figure it out. And I was also like I went to theater school, right? Like I wasn't in it for science. But once you figure it out, you're like, okay, this is actually a lot easier. And it makes it a lot more interesting because you're able to make better decisions and almost predict what's going to work and what isn't going to work. kind of
Yeah,
cool.
that's great. So yeah, so it's a bit of encouragement for us poets really to get out there and start looking at numbers, really.
Yeah,
Get over ourselves. Yeah, good.
yeah.
That's really great. Thank you so much for that. Really, really appreciate it.
Oh, I think I've lost you.
That's because I was on mute.
Oh, there we
Well
go.
done, Martin. Yeah, so that was great. Thank you so much for that. That's
Yeah, no
really,
problem.
really insightful. And yeah, like I was saying, it's a shame you won't be there to do it yourself. But well, who knows? Next year will be great to pick it up again.
Yeah,
And
maybe even bigger because everyone will be really eager to get out.
yeah, how are you getting on? Are
Hopefully.
you keeping yourself very busy? I would imagine, almost busier in a weird
Yeah,
way.
I mean, trying to. My partner and I started or came up with the idea to sell margarita mixes and deliver them in Toronto. So I started up a little store for that. So just kind of trying to keep creative. We actually just launched this, or we're launching it today. This study where I analyzed like a bunch of search data over compared from last year to this year and
Mm.
month over month to see which industries are actually having shifts and trends. So that it's kind of on that same idea of like data and creative, like how do you leverage data to make creative decisions, especially in industries that are kind of falling. So like if you're in the travel industry, where is that interest shifting? And so that's been a pretty interesting study and pushing it out today, but it might be of interest to you guys or because it kind of fits into the same theme.
Yeah, definitely. And the whole theme was we all collaborate with loads of different people in lots of different specialities, and then part of the idea behind the conference is getting lots of different people in the room and finding out off each other what skills we might want to accentuate or what new skills we might want to learn to make ourselves more valuable and better at our
Yeah.
jobs, really. So it's really interesting what you're saying there, having the courage really to go into areas, numbers, for example, data that someone naturally might feel a little bit uncomfortable with, but I'm sure there's ways into do or working with the right people where it's not,
Yeah.
it becomes natural and easier. And yeah,
Yep.
cool.
You just have to start small, start with one thing and then just add to it.
Cool. Okay, we'll wrap it up there then.
Yeah, sounds good.
So lovely to see you, Nadya. Thank you very much for your time. Really appreciate it. You're in Toronto, is that right?
Yeah, I'm in Toronto.
All the way from sunny Toronto. What's the time there?
Sunny Toronto. It's still snowing, I think.
Cool. All right. Well, it's great to see you. Great to talk with you. And we'll see you again in the not too distant future, I hope. And good luck
Yeah,
with it
sounds
in the
good. Thanks
meantime.
so much.
Thank you, Nadya.
All right, take care.
Great.
Bye.